Hey folks, we are going, let me adjust my thing here real quick. We are going to continue creating art for the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration supplement that we're going to be publishing online as soon as it's done. Give me a second here to go through my spiel, and then we'll get into 100 minutes of fun. So hold on, and then we'll get into 100 minutes of fun. So hold on, and then we'll get into 100 minutes of fun. That sounds right. Okay, cool. So let's see. Let me get into my spiel. Okay, great. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing game supplements in PDF format. Currently, I am focused on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I publish my work on the DMsGuild.com. There are various links in the description down below that if you were to click into them, they'll take you to individual books that I have previously produced. They're all 100% free preview. I certainly appreciate you purchasing them, but you can look at everything at no cost. If you click on any of the product links down below, on the product page you'll see like a book cover like this, and then underneath, if you're on a tablet or a desktop, you'll see a link underneath it that says full preview. And if you're on a mobile phone, there'll be an eye icon on the right-hand side of the screen. And you can click on either the eye icon or the full preview link. In either circumstance, it'll pop open a... Hold on. Save that. It'll pop open a PDF, and you can read the entire document cover to cover. There's probably about 150 different illustrations throughout the books. So if you're an art enthusiast, peel them open, check them out, see the kind of work I produce. If you're a D&D enthusiast, these are all rules that are designed for both players and DMs to make use of in their campaigns and their character designs. I run campaigns from level 1 to 20, typically in about 250 hours. I'm on my 4th campaign, currently at 18th level. So the stuff that I build is intended for use at all tiers of play and are tested accordingly. So if you think this stuff is cool, consider making a purchase to support the channel. I've also just posted that I'm live on Twitter, and if you want to find out when I'm live in the future, you too can follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney, FILKEARNEY, as my title below with no spaces. The last thing we can do to support the channel, if you don't mind, is like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so that YouTube can understand that long form design is something that's interesting to the community. Hopefully you feel that it is. So long form design, what are we doing here? Almost done with my spiel, then we'll get into the artwork of it. This is a book cover we created like around episode 15 of this playlist that we're on currently, up to episode 130. We've been working on it since the release, August 17th, 2022. So we should have it done here in maybe a month or so. So possibly end of June, early July is what we're shooting for right now. We create a document. This is just basically my stream is basically a production pipeline to show you the process of building a PDF for a role-playing game. If you're so inspired yourself, or just enjoy the process of creation and see the end result along with us all. Thanks a lot for checking it out. But so we write up an idea, we play test it, make sure that it works. We then feed it to our editor to make words smart. And in this case, that's Adam Hancock, who created Orc and an Elf Had a Baby, volumes 1 and 2, as well as Balduran's Guide to Kingdom Building, and a lot of other stuff. He's a great guy. And he edited our document, so when we get it back from edits, I use Word, just basic Microsoft Word. I drop the text into the Word format, and then I start dressing it appropriately, use page dressing like the fonts, break that all down, create the tables and charts and stuff to make the thing work good. This will also be 100% free preview when it's done, but we have a ton of art assets that we've created for this. I just wanted to show you guys where we're at. We're already down to page 68. And this is all about air envelopes and fires, air supplies, foul and deadly air, how to blend air envelopes. This is all down in the hazard section. So now we're working on infestations. Morale and Mutiny, and Wild Storms. And once we're done with those, we'll be into the Creature Menagerie on page 73. But the Creature Menagerie is already essentially done. Just have some formatting with bullet points here to do, but otherwise it is already laid out. So that'll take us down to, we should have this stuff all resolved by our Monday night stream. I'll be back on Monday morning doing more NPC tokens for Lattice Araxis. But by the time we're doing Eberron art Monday night, we should be done with the hazard section and into the appendix, which we have to stress up as a bunch of tables for you to roll on to create a random system. So we already have the basic spacing for where we want all the text to be, but we have to break it down into its little tables, so and the sidebar dressing and stuff to make sure it looks smart. And then we'll be into Light as Araxis itself. So I can actually pause at this point. I'm hoping that I'm going to be done with this by Wednesday. And I'm also intending on having the NPC token line art done by Wednesday. So what will happen then is we're going to put a pause on the layout here moving forward into Light as Araxis until the NPC tokens are finished and colored. So we'll then go back for the rest of, on Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday next week, we'll actually start doing actual page dressing for this full document prior to the appendix. So we're going to, I think, change format a little bit for Appendix 2 for the Light as Araxis conversion guide. But all of this is freaking locked in. So that means we get to do our front end page dressing, start filling in all the illustrations, charts, diagrams, while we're still doing the coloring process for the NPC tokens that we do in the stream Monday through Friday morning. And once those are colorized, we can go back in and start cleaning up Light as Araxis with the NPC tokens to drop those in with the ships and the maps that we built to flesh that stuff out. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And I hope that you guys like and subscribe to stick around for the process. And we'll do a full walkthrough once the thing's actually published on the DMsGuild as like a director's cut / victory lap for the project. But right now where we're at, hopefully I'm coming through okay. I'm gonna check my volume here real quick. That's not volume, Kearney, that's a calendar. There. I got Badoot duped. I gotta check to see what that was all about. Hold on. And then we'll get back into the yeah, that's right. I have to set my timer. Thank you. Let's get a timer going. Okay, we got 20 minutes. Hold on. There we go. 20 minutes on the block, and we're officially starting. So we've been on Saturday morning the past few weeks. We've been continuing to develop the ship tokens that we have for this. And when we last visited, we were talking about how the way that squadrons and fleets work in this system. My gal's been duping me about lunch, so sorry for the interruption. But I just want to make sure. So squadrons and fleets, they measure the amount of damage that you can deal with a ship that's part of a squadron or fleet is based on the size of the vessel, how many squares it occupies. So this is referred to as a 3x3 space at the 50-foot scale, because a wasp here being depicted is about 150 feet long, as opposed to, like, say, a nautiloid here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 4x4, 200 feet long. So it's the amount of weapons, since the way that it's structured is that it'd be 3 dice worth of, and there's crew ranks. So the more experienced your crew is, the more damage they can deal, the more effective they are at combat. So it's ranked from 1 to 5, D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. So if you have like say a 3rd rank crew that's rolling D8s, a 3x3 ship inside of the squadron would deal 3d8 times 10 damage because of the siege weapons. Ballistas deal d6 times 10 damage. Mangonels deal d8 times 10 damage. And these little mounted weapons, they deal 2d8. They do 2d8 damage, just flat 2d8 damage per shot. And these are the harpoon flingers from Descent into Avernus that have a 150-foot range and just launch harpoons, these massive spears through things. So they're good for anti-personnel because creatures tend to have like all these structures here. These are all turrets and deck railing, as well as like being able to drop in underneath deck to give themselves full cover. If you're inside the ship, you can't get hit by siege or in mounted weapons outside the ship. But if you're actually here on deck running around, you normally have some form of cover, either a partial cover, half cover, full cover, because you're in these walkways that have railings that you can duck behind without having to be prone. If you are prone, you'd have full cover. But as long as you have some sort of partial cover, siege weapons can't hit you. The weapons are too large to be that accurate to be able to overcome the cover that an individual creature would have on a ship of the size. So the siege weapons can't attack the individual creatures. That's why you need mounted weapons. They're small enough ammunition that they can target and hit creatures that don't have full cover. So when you have a weapon crew that's working this mangonel against like that nautiloid, let's go back to that nautiloid because I like the nautiloid. Let's go back to that. There, nautiloid ship. If it's literally like trying to grapple this wasp here in combat, you would in the VTT or at your tabletop, you would have these ships overlapping each other. Hey, Dreams. It's good to see you, my guy. So this is like literally how a nautiloid ship would grapple a wasp ship. And you can see that like if I had creatures that like slaves or whatever that are along the deck up here, they could be firing these mounted weapons down onto the deck of the ship, where the siege crews are attempting to fire back at the nautiloid ship, while the pilot of the nautiloid would be able to use these various tentacles to grapple the ship, while the wasp ship would be able to use its legs to be able to do piercing stab attacks, right? So they could be grappling with each other, engaging in melee combat like giant creatures commanded by these pilots, while the crews that are like on the back of the creatures are are firing weapons at each other as well. These siege weapons attacking the ships back and forth. These tentacles are doing siege damage, like D8 times 10 siege damage. These piercing rams are doing D6 damage, D6 times 10 damage each. And if this one hits, it impales the ship, so you can automatically engage in a grapple. But these tentacles are built to grapple, so when they attack, they can automatically initiate a grapple as well, and they can constrict and crush you each round as a bonus action. So the more tentacles that the pilot can latch onto the ship, the more it can crush every round automatically. So, but since it's a 3x3 wasp, the nautiloid can only grapple with up to 3 tentacles, one for each 50-foot square space that it occupies, which is all laid out in the mechanics of the book in the grappling section in the combat area. So this is all detailed out for you. So once these ships are engaged with each other, they can then the squid ship is the nautiloid is larger than the wasp, so it could attempt to scuttle and basically shake it around before their gravity planes align and synchronize with each other. So it could literally just like shake the shit out of everybody inside of the ship, and if it does, then if the pilot gets knocked off his seat and loses focus on piloting, the ship goes dead for the round until someone can jump back into the helm and take control. that's an opportunity for the Nautiloid to start, literally just start tearing the ship apart, because there's no pilot there to protect it from taking damage with its life force, using its basically like ward, what's that spell called? Warding bond, where you like you fuse your essence with another creature that you target, so whenever they take damage, you can take half of the damage for them, so that they have a you act as a hit point battery for your ally using ward, is that what it's called? Warding bond? I think that's what the spell's called. But that's what you do with ships while you're piloting. When you pilot, you ward that ship with your own hit points. So you can choose how many hit points the ship takes compared to how much damage you take. But if you get knocked out of your seat, you can't protect your ship. And like this Wasp ship only has 300 hit points. So it's gonna get torn apart. If you've got 3d8 times 10 damage per round from having a Nautiloid completely grabbing on hold of you, that's potentially a max roll would be 240 hit points. And if your pilot isn't in the chair, he can't eat any of that damage. Like if I were to eat siege damage as a pilot, I reduce the amount by 10. I divide it by 10. 3d8 times 10 tentacle siege damage to my ship. If I take it for the ship instead, it'd only be 3d8 damage to my character, and the ship takes none. At low levels, I want the ship to take damage so my pilot doesn't die. At medium and high levels, I want my pilot to take the damage so my ship doesn't get destroyed. As long as my ship is still flying, we're still fighting. And at the low levels, if my ship is destroyed, the air envelope is still on the wreckage. So even if my ship is destroyed, that's generally when the enemy would come into salvage or try to, pick out crew for, whatever, and like hostage or, whatever. Anyway, that's how that stuff works. So we had to, all that to say, as a squadron, if there were two of these wasps working as wingmen together in a squadron, right, then it would be a 6x6 space, both 3x3 wasps working together. If that Nautiloid and Wasp were actually allies, then it would be 4x4, and 3x3 would be 7x7. So that means that if these ships were firing together in tandem, it'd be 7d times whatever die the crew is. Like a third rank crew is a d8, so it'd be 7d8 between both of these ships firing together at the same time. 78 times 10 siege damage, which is a shitload of damage. But there's a reload mechanic that prevents you from probably being able to do that more than once per round. So the action economy works the same. It's just 10 times larger because the ships can take 10 times the damage and they're 10 times their size. So all the mass scaling works. But because of that, I need to have 3 siege weapons for 3 squares. And with the Nautiloid, I have to have 4 siege weapons because it's 4. The size is 4. So here's a siege weapon, here's a siege weapon, here's a siege weapon, here's a siege weapon. And then if I'm using mounted weapons, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4d8, but not times 10, it'd just be 48 damage. So I have to make sure that each of these ships has enough weapons on them to be able to represent themselves properly inside of a squadron. But that also increases the amount of crew that you could potentially have on your ship to be able to fire all these weapons all the time. Or if you've got a thin crew, you just choose which of these weapons, when you're flying the ship individually, which weapons specifically would you fire. Like as a commander on the deck of the ship on this Wasp, I could have the ballista, the mangonel, and the other ballista all load and fire together at that Nautiloid. But that's 3 weapon systems that I'm controlling all at the same time. Similar to if I were controlling a squadron, it would require me to eat extra action economy to get all those weapons to reload again to fire another volley, as opposed to like if I was just commanding this ballista, I'd be able to fire it every, like if I have 3 actions because I'm an 11th level fighter, I'd be able to have my crew fire this ballista 3 times during my round, because there's so many of them that are loading, aiming, and firing the weapon. They're just waiting for me to call the shots, which is what the attack action becomes. But if I'm having more than one weapon, they're going to be eating up those extra attack actions per weapon. So I would end up, like an 11th level fighter would probably be able to fire all 3 of these weapons once per round. Potentially, if I only had 2 of them under command, maybe I could fire 2 of them, depending on what my reload command die result is. which is all detailed as well, and it'll all be 100% free for you to read once you get into it. But it's pretty smart mechanics. I'm pretty proud of them, and they're really fun to use actually in game, because you have that die, like your command die, like a 6-level character is rolling a d6 to try to hit your reload numbers. Like a Mangonel has a reload score of, like a second rank crew has like a reload score of 3. So every time you fire the Mangonel, you're using the command die instead of your proficiency bonus. So you basically got like a d6 at 5th level. The average is 3, which is +3 is your proficiency bonus. So that's essence 20. It's basically a proficiency die that is doing double duty as a reload die. So the Mangonel with a reload score of 3, and say a Ballista with a reload score of 1, 2, 3, that's 5, a total of 5. A 5th level character rolling a d6 has to roll a 5 or a 6 on the reload die. Otherwise, you have to burn your next action or a reaction just to command one of the weapons to reload. And if they all screw up, if you command all 3 of them, they all need individual attention. So that's why you might have 2 or 3 characters working weapons together. I could have my best character firing all 3 of those weapons in tandem, and then each individual character is burning their action economy to get the team to hustle to reload fast enough so that you could fire again before the round is over and the round floats back around. So that's the ideas behind that. So I've really rambled on about the mechanics, explaining why we're adding more weapons and modifying the chassis or the deck plans of these ships to accommodate the additional weapons. Like I had to drop a gun turret here at the back for the Ballista, as well as for these 2 mounted weapons. So now I need to go in and modify the deck of the ship to accommodate the new weapons that we've added. So that's what we're, long story short, way too late. That is what we're doing currently. We are building in additional deck plans here to allow us to do these things. So actually what I want to do is let's see. I'm going to be cheeky and I'm going to duplicate this group and merge it down so I can grab individual bits like this. I didn't realize, when I initially made the tokens, I didn't realize how, I initially didn't care. I wanted the ships to be as accurate to Spelljammer's Adventures in Space publications possible, so that more people would be attracted to using these tokens as a product. But as the project continued to evolve, I'm getting emboldened that what I'm doing is good and is appropriate. Like it's good design, so I can now feel brave to change the floor plan to work with the system that I've designed, instead of trying to apologetically conform to what Wizards had provided. So this is me going through that process of boldness. So I now know that this deck plan needs to go out to here. I can take this base color here, like this. Okay, so I can hide that for the moment and just focus here. So I can put that doorway here, leaning down the gangplank for the tail of the ship. God, I'm fucking excited about this book. It is so cool. I'm a little amazed that I produced it. Like, this is next level shit for me. I thought Color Mana was clever. And it is. Color Mana is clever. But this is just some fucking next level shit, man. My computer is still sick. I had to manually jumpstart my my CPU fan. I had to like flick it for like 8 minutes to get it up and running. So I'm going to once Best Buy opens next door, I happen to live next to a Best Buy, and that happens to be where I bought this computer from. So once they're open, I get to kick on over to the Geek Squad and have them chew on my computer. I'm not online on Saturday, and we got stuff going on today, like honeydews and brunches and stuff for us to play. So I won't be at my computer hardly at all this weekend. So I figure if I go in and get the fan taken care of today, then during my week off this week, I'm on birthday vacation starting Monday, and I shan't go back to work until the 22nd. So I am trying to be smart about resolving my computer's sickness and fix the parts before I jump on and start, like I'll be doing token artwork on Monday morning, probably like 2 or 3 hours. I'm hoping if I start at 6-ish like usual and I can stay on, I don't know if I'll have the endurance, but my intention is to be on for 3 hours in the morning and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then on for 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon, like 2 till 5. And then Monday night, I've got Eber on stream. Thursday night, I have Eber on stream. I can't do Thursday afternoon. I've got an obligation to take care of doctor stuff. I won't bore you with the details. But Monday through Friday minus Thursday, I'll be able to do 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon as well. And assuming that, I can keep it up. And then say from like 9 till 2, I can do page layouts. So that's why I'm confident that I'll be able to get through those 3 pages into the Creatures Menagerie, finishing out ship hazards by Monday night Eberron, because I'll have 9 till 2 and then 5 till 7 to fix those 3 pages. And then we'll get into the Menagerie and continue work there as well. So yeah, it's convenient, that's for sure. There's also a kick-ass movie theater that I went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy with my gal over the weekend, and it was fun. The first one was the best. I think number 3 was better than number 2, and of course the Christmas special was a garbage tier. It was fun, but it was a lot of it was. I think chunks of it were disappointing, and I think it could have been better. And I think some of it was just my chair's screwed up. I have to fix it. Yeah, it could have been better. It could have been better, but I'm also hypercritical about stuff like that. So just take my opinion with a huge grain of salt. Dreams, how you doing, my guy? What's going on? I've been talking. That's enough about me. Let's talk about me. No, how you been doing? I really should make that a different layer. Really, I should. Can I bring these weapons further back on my rig? Bring those to there. And right on, guy. Ballistas. There we go, there and there. I can bring this back a touch. The nice thing about symmetrical ships is I only have to do one half of it at a time. About time for the Saturday. Oh, right on. I'm part of London's getting married to Princess. Right on, my guy. Well, happy to have you while I have you. Good gaming. Oh, that's awesome. How fun. Are these NPCs or are these player controlled or? Holy crap. Wow. What a I guess that's why royalty gets married, right? It's all about the coronation, yo. Oh, right on. I'm having a fit of silence. My bad. Oh, that's cool. Nice. That's really, really cool. Let's use that. Okay, so far so good. Close the dragon forcefully turn Ravnica into a Dracula. Oh, she met a dragon who will fix that after we defeat. Oh, right on. Is this a full 20 level campaign that's being planned, or what's the scale? Nice. Nah, you know, there's no real point. I personally, by the time I hit 20th level from first, like it's typically somewhere around 250 or 300 hours of game. I'm ready for a change. Maybe maybe I just lack talent as a DM. But turnover is good. New stories are good. Let's see. That's starting to work. There we go. This should be able to float over pretty well. Nice. That is lining up right proper. Hold on, I'll catch up with you in a second. There. Oh, that's gonna work. That is totally gonna work out. Fuck yeah. Ah, fair. Hey, Luke. How you? Let's see if these turrets are sitting there proper. Yes. Let's see what we do if we see what happens if we fuse these down. Let's drop these into a group before I have any regrets. And then we can duplicate that group, and then we can merge this group down. There we go. There. How you doing, Luke? We are creating Spelljammer tokens right now for Dungeons and Dragons. I see text happening. I'll get my face over there in a second. Hold on. Yeah, so far so good. And next I'm going to duplicate the layer now, baby. Flip it all around. Boo! Boom! Flip it all around. Boo, boo. I think I pressed the wrong button. Something didn't go right. Oh, that's what it is. Let's do that. There and there. That should do. Now I can duplicate that, and free transform equals flip horizontal now, baby. There we go. Straighten our shit up. Cool, let's drop our weapons back on deck. It's a little off. Time to adapt. Let's see. Let's see where our church is sitting. Those are mangonel. That is the mounted weapons. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Scoops those forward a couple ticks. And then the ballista. Move it forward a tick. And then take this whole thing. Move it forward a tick. Wrong. Wrong way to do that. The right way to do that is to go here. Move that forward a few ticks. Proper. Now we can redo that. A little lumpy over here. I need to thin that down a bit. There we go. There. Yeah, so we'll continue with the character tokens on Monday like usual. But we're gonna have the extended the extended cut because I've got the week off. So anyone new to the channel, definitely like and subscribe so you can get notification when we're going to go live and start building more creature tokens. And then we'll continue with the Eberron cartography in the evening on Monday. This is starting to look pretty good. You go into here. Let's put floor slats on like that. Oh, so perfect. Actually, I'm fucking around too much. I should just do this. Let's just undo that nonsense. Game time. See you, buddy. I'll still be on for a little less than an hour. So you'll probably be done with your game. Have fun, my guy. That's what I need to get rid of. Now I can come back through here like that. Grab up some of this off the deck there. Now we can go up here and stitch this into place. That's perfect. And do it again here. 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 That feels good. I'll merge these down. Merge. And then let's grab some of this, copy, paste, shift it over, paste. Like that. Glue these down and drop transparency a bit. Clear that out. Clean up these edges here so that the shadow and highlights work proper. Luke, if you aren't if you aren't familiar with the ship mechanic processes that we're dealing with here, I went through about a 10-minute walkthrough on basic weapon and ship combat interactions at the beginning of this feed. 20-minute timer, keep it going. So if you're interested, you are welcome to catch the replay at the earlier part of the stream where I was walking through the scaling damage and all the bloody blah. I need to duplicate this layer and then transform, flip horizontal. Perfect. Here. %, 100%. Snap. That all just clicks into place, doesn't it? There. And now our turrets. Bam. Turrets sit there pretty. Creatures can occupy the space of a turret or adjacent to it. And these are 50-foot squares, so it's more difficult to tell, but that's a 5-foot square there. So a mounted weapon only requires, just like the Sentient Avernus, a mounted weapon, like a harpoon flinger like this, only requires one crewmate to operate. A ballista requires up to 3 creatures to operate. And so if you got 3 crew here, the commander, your character, can be one of them. So you'd have your commander here, and you'd have your 2 ship crew here on the ballista. Between the ship crew and your character, you can make this ballista fire as fast as you have attacks per round, as well as use a reaction if it's loaded. And those 2 crew could instead switch to the mounted weapons while you're still commanding them. So you can command the crew to fire the siege weapon at a ship that is appropriately scaled to attack, or if you want to attack crew on that ship, you could then have the crew switch from the ballista to these 2 mounted weapons and have them fire at the 5-foot scale, so they don't have to worry about cover so much, preventing the shot from happening. But that's how that gun nest works. And then the same commander that's here could also shout commands to this Mangonel crew, but that's Mangonel has to have a crew of 5. So you got 1, 2, 3, and you've got 5. That's 8, and then you've got another 3 here for the ballista. That's 11 plus a pilot. That's 12. Ideally, you'd have a siege commander here and a siege commander here, which takes us to 14. And then you would have somebody at an orrery station below deck with the pilot. That takes you to 15. And the mechanics that we use for air envelopes is that for every 50 feet square, you can support 5 medium or small sized creatures for 100 days. So a full decked ship with all crew needed, the 11 crew member for gunnery, the pilot, the orrery, that only takes to 13. That leaves 2 seats open for additional commanders. So that all pans out. It lines up perfectly. The math works. So I'm really happy about that. So that is our modified Wasp gunship. And so that guy's done. I can go ahead and I might come back and nitpick at it, but I'm pretty happy with how it sits. It's a cool little guy. So let's move on to the next piece. We'll lock this down for now. We already have the Tyrant ship that we created. We have the Turtle ship that needs to be fixed. The Star Moth that also needs to be fixed. The Squid ship that needs to be fixed. And the rest of them are already resolved. Just to walk through a few of them, the Space Galleon. These are Mangonels, these are mounted weapons, these are ballista. So there you go. Shrike ship, also resolved. Scorpion ship, also resolved, although I might switch. I kind of like that being up there like that. I don't know, what do we think? Ballista up here and then a Mangonel down here. That actually might make more sense. I think it'd be cooler to be firing ballistas out of the tail as opposed to throwing rocks. But the Mangonel has that pop feel to it that like the tail itself would have, you know? I don't know. What do you guys think? If anyone's around, it's your time to shine. What do you think? What do you think is appropriate here? Mangonel up top or up front? I can do that instead. I kind of like that. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's just what is, it is what it is. But this is a 2x2 craft. They're only 75 feet long here. Scorpions are just like little metal tanky things. So it's got these giant grappling claws. Those do D10. Those do D6 times 10 damage. And if they grab hold, not only they grapple, but you can use a bonus action to have them crush each other. Crush for D4 times 10 damage per round. It can obviously walk. It's got 2 mounted weapons, 2 siege weapons, 2 claw weapons. So this guy's sitting pretty for the 2x2 space that defines it as part of a squadron. A squadron can have up to 10 squares with a ship inside of its space. And a squadron is up to a 10x10 square at the 50-foot scale. Would be a 500-foot square, which we talked about extensively in past episodes. But you could have up to 5 scorpions sitting inside of a 10x10 space without being in tight formation. But obviously tight formation, you could have 1, 2, 3, 4. You could have 4 here and then another 1, 2, 3, 4 of these for a 10x10 space. You could potentially have up to 16, 17, 18, 19. You could potentially have 20 scorpions in a single 500-foot space, but that wouldn't deal any more damage than the 10d8 that it would cap at, 10d8 times 10 damage as a squadron firing siege weapons. But I'm pretty happy with this. I think I want to leave it. I think I want to do that. I think that looks fun. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. We'll make that change. And then the rest of the ships, we have the Night Spider, the Yogi ship. This is just a monster ship. It's also a 4x4, so we got the 1, 2, 3, 4 siege weapons, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4 mounted weapons. It also has these 8 piercing rams that it can also use as legs to walk, and it has mounted grappling claws as well. These can affect creatures that are up to gargantuan size or smaller, as well as grab fighter craft as well. But these larger ones are built for piercing and grappling larger ships, like an Nautiloid, for instance. And you get the Nautiloid, we talked about this earlier, 4x4, 1, 2, 3, 4 siege weapons there. You get the Living ship, which has 1 siege weapon, but the Trent that is bound to the Living ship acts as a trebuchet, which counts as a second siege weapon, so counts. You got the Lamprey, which is a 3x3. It doesn't look like it, but it's a 3x3 vessel. It's just too long to fit in 2x2, so it defaults to 3x3, which means 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That guy's, and it has the piercing ram. And then we get the Hammer ship. Here's a trebuchet. And then here's your mangonels. And then here's 2 ballista. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mounted weapons. And of course you get the ram. Flying ship is a 3x3. So it's got 1, 2, 3 siege, 1, 2, 3 mounted. Damsel, I love the damsel fly. It's got 1, 2 siege weapons, 1, 2 mounted weapons, and of course it fits in a 2x2 space. And then the bombard, which is a 3x3 spaces, has the gift cannon, which is huge, and it's got 2 ballistas for 3 siege weapons, and it's got 1, 2, 3 mounted weapons in the back. So it's either lobbing like 2d8 times 10 siege damage with the cannon in the front, or it's shredding you in the back with 2 ballista and 3 mounted weapons. Doesn't matter which way it's facing, it's all pain. So walk through that enough bragging about myself. Let's get on with the turtle ship, shall we? 2x2 ship. It needs 2 siege weapons and it needs 2 mounted weapons. So here we are, top deck. Let's conceal the turrets for a minute. Let's take this color. Let's duplicate the color. Let's merge that color. I said let's merge that color. Merge. And let's grab this. Oh, let's just do that. We can copy, paste, free transform, flip vertical. Let's reduce the opacity so we can see what we're working on top of. There. Noise. Noise. Yeah. Those bits, there's these bits, and there's that bit. Yeah, maybe we do want to do that. Maybe I do. Am I Sultan or am I Sultan? My poor computer is so sick. That should do. Let's duplicate that. Free transform. Flip horizontal now, baby. Nice. That just worked out. Hold on. It's Ballista. Nice. There we go. That was easy. About damn time I had an easy one. Let's just be perfectly bitter and honest about that, shall we? Nice. Noise. That's fucking cool. I feel like though I should have the mangonel face backward. There. That way I can have a commander hanging out here. Got 5 crew here. We got 3 crew here, and the that'd be 8. The commander's 1, so I need 7 there. 8, 9, and a pilot is 10. 5 creatures per 50-foot space as air for 100 days. I could technically go 1, 2, 5. That's 7. 8 for the commander. 9 for the pilot. 10 for the orrery systems. Yeah, that would technically cap that out. And these weapons are a little out of reach. Not the best design. Oh well. Or I could have 4 and 3, and captain is 8, 9. Yeah, 9, 10 under deck. There you go. Ori. Yep. Yeah, I'm good with that. Start them off. Don't think I have to do. Oh, I do need to put some stairs and stuff on this guy. Okay, yeah. We have a purpose here. How's my timer doing? I still have a half hour? Okay. How's my timer doing, though? Sorry, checking my phone here. Timer is good. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Let's pull that out. There. Let's go back to, let's see. Color. Let's duplicate that layer and let's merge that layer down. I'm going to check my turtle here real quick, make sure I didn't do something insanely stupid. Okay, good. All is well. Let's get out of here, turtle. paste, and let's do something like I think this is going to work. That. I'm going to duplicate that layer and then free transform. Flip horizontal now, baby. Here. Yeah, like that. There we go. Let's merge those down. All right, here's our last 20 minutes. Now let's do this. Wait for it. There we go. This is gonna work. Wow, 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 wow. God damn, that is perfect. Holy Hannah. Setback. Those are mounted weapons. 3, 4, 5. Okay. We can fix this. Let's go to that, Get that going there. Let's see. What we need is here. Oh, that just works. Okay. We're doing some surgery here, guys. Let's delete that. Yep, trim that down. This should be fine. This should be just fine. Yeah, it feels right. Let's conceal our turrets. Okay. Go to here. Stairs. Let's drop this down like that. Let's do this. Right. hurts it. I think that's okay like that. Let's see. Still not as pretty as I want it to be. That feels appropriate. One. Nice, that's gonna work. And then one and one. Nice, you got that channel, you can run down the middle. That's cool. All right, that is going to work. So let's see here. Bring the stairway back up to par. Burp. Let's do one more layer to make sure I don't fuck up what I have. Just like that. Icked. All right. I'll bite the bullet and buff it out. Like yonder. No complaint there. There we go. God, thank God it's actually working out. I had my doubts. It's not horrible. I don't hate it. So I can get that fleshed out. Okay, and that's going to stay like that. So let's take these things and yeah, let's do that. So now we get to let's duplicate that like we intended for transform. Flip horizontal like that. Slide that into place. Those together, and let's build a new Let's grab another one of these on top of it. Continue blending down. Oh, crap. All right, well, I gotta take my computer in, go get it healthied. So we're gonna have to stop here as soon as my heart lets go of this effort. Come on, buddy. We'll be back tomorrow. We can do this. Merge those down. This will be our last bit. Duplicate. Free transform. Flip horizontal. Good. Merge down. Turrets are fitting in. Actually, there. There. Cool. All right. Well, I got to stop here because I got an appointment I got to keep. Oy vey. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and let's see. I still have to build out the nest here properly. So it's still got a little bit more work to do, but I'm pretty happy. I'm happy. I'm thrilled with this project in general, but I like how this particular piece is coming along. So this is cool shit. So I'm gonna lock that up. We're gonna come back and God, what a gunboat! All these things are just gunboats. I fucking love it. So let's see. All right, cool. So I'm done for the weekend. I'll be back on Monday morning, 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern time. For it's a long. Normally I do 100 minutes in the morning, but we'll be doing 2 to 3 hours worth of NPC token development Monday through Friday this week in the morning. Monday night I'll be back. I should be around in the afternoon, like 3 to 5, to do. I don't know what I'm going to do in the afternoon block. Probably more of this. And then Monday night, I'll be back for a 2-hour kick to do the Eberron cartography. Tuesday lunch will be martial powers development. We'll do a barbarian, a fighter, and a rogue archetype using the PowerPoint system. And then Thursday we'll be back for Eberron as well. And I'm hoping the page layouts for all this will be done by Saturday, so we can continue these ship tokens, but really start diving into background images and artwork for the actual page layout artwork. So that's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, guys, I will be back. I'll be back on Monday. Thanks a lot for being here. Like, subscribe, blah-de-blahs, and thanks a lot.